How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. You know I love it when you come to the shop. I sure do. And today in the shop we're going to have an unboxing. We're into the springtime pretty good now. You know, the snow is melting faster than it's staying. Although we had a little setback this week. But anyways, other than that, it's going and spring is in the air. And lots of times, you know, when you're out in the yard going around, you know, like you're trying to clean up the mess from the winter and from last fall, the stuff you missed. I don't know about you fellas, but we end up with a lot of leaves and little sticks and branches and twigs and whatnot around the yard. And Nannie is forever raking leaves up, you know, and cleaning up around the yard, picking up the little deadfall twigs and whatnot, and cleaning out the leaves out of her garden. It's just a never-ending task. And she likes to save those leaves and little branches and use them for compost. But she has a hard time breaking them up because she was just putting them in a barrel and like trying to break them up with a stick, and that's hard to do the best times. So Nannie found this, it's a blower vacuum mulcher by BLACK+DECKER. She found this unit online. It was a pretty good price. So we thought we'd try it because it seems like it's going to be a good idea. Just go around, vacuum up the leaves and the little twigs, and it mulches them all up. And then we can save that, put it in the compost, and use that in the garden. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to open up this BLACK+DECKER blower vacuum mulcher and just see what kind of unit it is. So here it is. It's a BLACK+DECKER corded blower vacuum mulcher. Seems like it does everything. Some sort of bag, I guess, that for the mulcher part. The infamous instructions. The vacuum wands. Some more pieces for the vacuum wand. Some more pieces for the vacuum wand. Or maybe they're the blower wand too, right? So the unit itself, there's a bit of weight to it. It's a corded machine, by the way. But it's got lots of handles and lots of grip spots on it, so it should be handy for holding on to, right? So the specs on it, it's a BLACK+DECKER, but BLACK+DECKER is not nearly the name it used to be. Yeah, BV3100 is the model number of it. It's got 2 speed controls here on the button on the top, and it says it's a 12 amp motor. So that means if you're running it, you need at least a 14 gauge extension cord, and that's what most of them are these days, so that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so I just plugged the power unit in just to try it before we go any further. So it's 2 speed, and the specifications say like 12 amps for the motor, and it says up to 300 cubic feet per minute of air, and it says the speed of air coming out, it's 150 miles an hour in low speed or 210 in high speed. So it does move a fair amount of air. Whoa! So yeah, impressed with the power of it. So let's unplug it here till we get her assembled a little bit. So because it's a blower and a mulcher and a vacuum, I think the quickest way would be just to hook it up as a blower. And I just kind of glanced through the instructions, but these 2 smaller tubes are the blower part, and you'll see the end here, it's angled, like it comes down and then tips out to an angle. And then that just slides in, it locks together, and it's easy to get it apart. You just push on this button here, and it slips apart. So that's good. And then that just clips on the front here, and everything is new, so things are tight going together. So that's good, because I think that means once we start to use it and it loosens up, it'll still fit tight. So you had to push that in there with some force. But now that's the blower. So that should blow a few leaves, I think, eh? Alright, and then to get that apart, you just unhook this front part of the nozzle, and then this part of the nozzle, and because it's new and stiff, yeah, that's quite a struggle to get that off of there, but I'd rather it be tight than loose, especially when it's new. Okay, so it's got lots of nice grip spots on it, so when you're using it as a blower, you can just use one hand and like wave it back and forth, or you could hold it with both on these big handles or like this, so it should be easy to control. One concern, of course, because it's a corded tool, you're going to be dragging a cord behind you, but there is a nice little loop and lock in here system where you can loop your extension cord in around this tab, and it'll hook the extension cord good, so you can plug in and hopefully have no fear of the extension cord coming unplugged. But you'd be always, moving the cord behind you. But that's what happens with corded tools. The one good thing about corded tools, though, is you don't get halfway through the job and have to take a 20-minute break while your battery recharges. So anyway, the two wands for the blower, they just nest together like that, so they're going to be easy to store. Put those over there. Now, for the vacuum part, I'm assuming it's these two big pieces here. And it says it's a vacuum mulcher. And I think it does both at the same time. You can't vacuum without mulching, so just bear that in mind. Whatever the vacuum draws in goes through the impeller. So this is the guard for the impeller, so that keeps back. And there's your impeller there. So everything that you draw in to the vacuum will go through this impeller and then into the bag. And the bag is going to clip on the end here. But this impeller, I notice, has got serrated edges on it, so that it will mulch things up, like it's made to mulch things up, whereas like a regular shop vac, is not meant to do that. You can see these serrations here on the teeth, or hope you can. Yeah, so they look like they would take leaves, and that's what it's designed for, to take leaves and chew the leaves up pretty good. Okay, so as a blower, this latches down, and also it says in the instructions, although I never tried it just yet, but this button on the end here that unhooks the impeller cover, there's a safety on that, so it'll shut the blower off if this happens to open up. So that's good to know too. So the first part of the vacuum part is this big tube. In order to get that onto the blower, you push in this orange button, lift the cover back, and then on this section right here, it's notched there, so then this plain edge, flat edge, will slip into that, and then you tip the whole tube over, and then this part of the foot here will then latch down in here and lock it in place. So let's try that. Try to get you a good view of it here. So first of all, this foot slides into this notch. And then that lines the tube up with the input to the impeller, and then you just straighten it up, and this tab here is now sliding down into the latch. It didn't click, but it did lock it in. So there, it's locked in place, good and solid. Now this tube has got an opening here for the latch that latches on this catch here. There's also a keyway in it here to align these two pieces to make sure that they're set up correctly. There we go. We got that together. So there we're set up in with the vacuum tube on it now. But in order to run that, we need to put the bag on it. So this bag came with it too, and it's got a nice shoulder strap on it. So when you're out mulching leaves, you can hang this over your shoulder, collect the leaves, and also it's got a nice zipper on the end here for unloading. And it'd be easy to unload it, so that's good. So then this just clips on the front like the blower piece did. So just on the front here, the bag will clip on and lock in place. So now we're ready to go. So let's plug her in and give her a try. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this cord down through this little locking mechanism there, and it just hooks in there, so that's good. and then we take our plug, and it's only a 2-pin and they're polarized, so you have to be careful because only like if your extension cord outlet has a big socket on the end of it, a big female end on the end of it, it won't fit correctly. This one seems to fit okay. Okay, one thing too, once you get everything hooked up, is now the cord is coming out the front of your machine. So I don't know whether that'd make it easier to use with the cord, but we can keep the cord, like say, on your left side, and you can hold the machine with these two handles to make it work. This bag now will go over your shoulder, so the strap on it is adjustable. So you'd adjust the strap to be comfortable. Just gonna loop it over my head here for now. Something like that. Could even be a little lower, I think, but so anyways, there we go. So then you turn it on. So yeah, I think this is going to work good. It's you know, with two hands, especially with this bag over your shoulder, it takes the weight off the bag, and with the two hand held and the knobs on it, it should be easy to direct around. So set up now as a vacuum mulcher with the bag, and it takes no time at all to switch it back to a blower. To do that, we just push this button, take the bag off, push this button, take the vacuum tube off. And mind that that doesn't jam on your fingers. Put the blower tube back together. And now we're ready for blowing the leaves around. So this is going to be handy, I think. We bought this because what Nannie likes to do in the spring and especially in the fall is go around the garden and blow the leaves out of the garden beds and whatnot. And I like to use it too because in around the back of the shop we get lots of leaves built up in there. You can blow the leaves away, and that's what we used to do with another blower that we had. But now with these two vacuum and mulching attachments, we can vacuum up the leaves and mulch them, and Nannie will love that because she can use that mulch for her gardens. There you go. See that? Get that little blower there, and I think it's going to work good. It's going to be real handy around the garden. The one little drawback maybe is that it's corded. You're going to have this cord drag along behind you. But I think once you get onto that, and we're only going to be going around the garden and around the shop with it, so it shouldn't be a big deal having the cord. But other than that, I think this is going to work good. And the size of the bag I think is going to be handy. It's not too big and it's not too small. It should get a good load of mulched up leaves, hopefully a good load of mulched up leaves. And we can use that for the compost. So I think that's going to work out all right. I hope you enjoyed this little video about the BLACK+DECKER 12 amp 300 cubic feet per minute blower vacuum mulcher. So thanks for tuning in. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for dropping by. I'm glad you're here. I hope you come back often. Don't forget, thumbs up me, and for my regular viewers, thanks a million for all your support. I appreciate it more than you know. Take care everyone, have a safe week, and enjoy the springtime because I think it's here. We'll talk to you.